Now, downward facing dog is one of the most foundational postures in yoga. There are a few elements that need to be addressed for it to be a happy and successful pose. And so in this practice, we'll be looking in particular at how to open the hamstrings and how to open and strengthen the shoulders. We'll begin in Supta Padangusthasana, which is a reclining pose to lengthen the hamstrings. Now begin by pressing the four corners of each foot into the wall, and then press into the wall with a little bit more vigor with the big toe mound. Now this is a part of the foot that I talk about a lot, so I want to make sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. The big toe mound is this area right here below the big toe itself. And when you press into the big toe mound, it has the effect of bringing the leg into a more alert and neutral position. So all four corners of each foot pressing into the wall, but in particular press into the wall with the big toe mounds. Feel how when you do that, there's a greater ease in finding the action of spinning your inner thighs down towards the floor, which will help to keep the legs neutral. And also feel how there's a more intelligent, alert quality to the leg when you find that pressure of the big toe mound into the wall. What I like you to understand, because it will make a big difference as we work in Adho Mukha Svanasana, is that if the hamstrings are short or tight, so pretend that the strap is a muscle and it's just gotten shorter, it pulls the sitting bones down. And you see how when the sitting bones get pulled down, the lower back gets flattened. We lose the natural curve of the lower back. And Jazz, now show the natural curve of the low back. And you see that the strap had to get a little longer to support that natural curve. And then one more time, I'm going to shorten the hamstrings, pulling the sitting bones down, flattening the low back. This will be important in downward facing, but some of you may even feel it if you have tighter or shorter hamstrings as we practice puppy dog. For puppy dog, place your hands at your frontal hip bones, and then keeping your hands at that height, step to the wall, or place your hands at the wall at that height, and then step back. And when you step back, straighten your arms and step back enough that your arms and your torso form a straight line that is parallel to the floor, and your hips stack directly over your heels. So we're basically looking for a square position. Now, in this pose, we practice many of the actions of downward facing dog. The feet are parallel and hips distance apart. The hands, and I'm going to move Jasmine's left hand a little bit higher so that they're at the same height, are shoulder distance apart. The wrist creases are parallel to each other and parallel to the floor. We'll review this further later, but what's very important is that the wrist creases form a straight line, that they don't tilt inward. Then you root into the wall with every knuckle and with every fingertip, and you use the strength of your arms to push your hips back and up, opening the armpit 180 degrees and creating a straight line from the palms to the sitting bones. So the shoulder blades play a really important role in opening your shoulders in flexion. And flexion is the shoulder position that we're in downward facing dog. We've already talked about this in another session. For some of you, this will be a review, but it's really worth reiterating because it's so important. On an inhale, take your arms straight out in front of you and pause at shoulder height. Okay? So until about 90 degrees, the shoulder blades don't move very much. And what we're following is this inner border of the shoulder blade. But after 90 degrees, and go ahead and do this, inhale your fingertips to the ceiling. The shoulder blades must rotate away from the spine, out and up towards the outer armpit. The reason that's so important is because your shoulder is really the meeting of two bones. It's the meeting of your upper arm bone and the meeting of the socket of your shoulder blade. And you need to rotate the shoulder blade so that it supports this head of the upper arm bone. If you do what unfortunately many people are told to do or do habitually when the arms are overhead and pull your shoulder blades down your back, you're actually disrupting that important bone articulation. And you also see how much squarer, how much broader, how congested Jasmine has become in her upper back. Instead, rotate the shoulder blades out and up. Find maximum length in the side body. You'll notice that there's no reason to pull the shoulder blades down the back, that there's no congestion at the base of the neck, which is why I think sometimes people think they need to drag down. Release your arms back into your lap. Inhale, bring your palms together in front of your heart. Exhale, lower your chin. Namaste.